And the government of Guam Tax Credit Program has risen by $82.2 million since 2006, but even that amount may not entirely be reliable or accurate because the Office of Public Accountability was not provided with all the documents they requested, particularly from the Department of Administration. Here's more. When the Office of Public Accountability conducted an audit on the Government of Guam Tax Credit Program back in 2006, there were only 9 programs enrolled with a total of $23.6 million authorized for tax credits. Since then, that number has more than quadrupled and is now up to $105.8 million with a total of 14 programs enrolled. Office of Public Accountability Audit Supervisor Rodolyn Gerardo, however, says that amount is not entirely reliable.
Imagine it went from about $23 million in authorized tax credits up to $105.8 million. And then so we're saying that based on the data that we did receive, right, from the other parties, minus DOA, was $72.7 million have been claimed as of December. So if you do the math, there's an additional, about $30 million out there that could be claimed in tax credits just based on the authorized amount. That's not including, again, those 3 other programs that we've identified that didn't have an amount authorized in law. So, so it could potentially still climb.
Part of the reason why the OPA hasn't been able to verify this amount is because the Department of Administration, which is the agency responsible for recording all tax credit claims, has not turned over data needed to thoroughly conduct the audit. Gerardo explains that in the past, the Department of Revenue and Taxation and DOA were protected by law from having to hand over documents. But with the passage of Public Law 33-52 in June this year, she points out that that's no longer the case. At least one of the programs that had questionable tax credit claims was a medically indigent program, or MIP. Healthcare providers who participate in MIP who are not reimbursed within 90 days are eligible to file a claim for tax credits. Auditor Ashley Gerland says, however, that because they didn't get any data from DOA whatsoever, MIP's tax credit program was potentially muddled with other claims.
Was there like an amount that was questionable because of that lack of communication?
Well, we couldn't verify because we didn't get information from DOA's side. The information we got was from DRT.
Therein lies the problem because of the fact that we were unable to get the information from DOA. We have the information from DRT. We were unable to verify whether or not all the claims that, all the tax credit claims that these providers were claiming were in fact for MIP. Old. Well, one, are they in fact after 90 days old? And 2, are they in fact just for MIP?
Gerardo explains that oftentimes when providers file a claim, they combine all their claims into one request, which, in addition to MIP, could include a claim for Medicaid or other programs.
At the end of the day, it still funnels down to DRT and it still funnels down to DOA. So those are like the 2 components that are kind of like your main that you would think would have the data. And I'm sure they do. It's just that where is it, right? They didn't provide it. I'm not sure what DOA's position was as far as why they didn't provide information. It could have just been that they were busy.
Right.
DOA spokesperson Phil Blas says it was a miscommunication that resulted in them not being able to hand over the documents. He apologized and he says that the department has no problem turning the documents in to the OPA.